Hi, everyone. I'm Catherine, the purveyor of fun and founder of the Palette community, and welcome to the Here For It Live. This show is my chance to talk one on one with inspiring members of the Palette community and beyond about how to show up as your authentic self in career and in life. And today, my guest is Nikki Rogers. She's a Palette member and also a yoga activist, which I have never heard it called that. So please tell me what this means to you because I love it. I'm like, I want to use this term. I couldn't use it for myself because I'm not yoga activist, but that's kind of how I came up with purveyor of fun. Most people say like, I've never heard of that before. And I was like, yeah, I hadn't heard of it before too, but it just fits so perfectly with, you know, who I am. So tell us more about how you came to this conclusion of giving yourself this awesome title.
Yeah, I was definitely in the same vein of that genuine authenticity and what truly expresses, right? So we have so many words at our disposal. And so yoga teacher, yoga instructor didn't really feel right to me, as I feel like more of a guide in my practice and sharing in the practice with others. And the activism piece for me, so my journey into yoga started with me being a special education teaching assistant in Albany schools at the high school level. And I was also moonlighting as a cocktail waitress in downtown Albany. So doing that classic 20s thing where we're burning the candle at both ends. So for me, pharmaceuticals are kind of a last resort type of thing. So I thought to myself, this is really stressful. I'm tired. I'm, doing a lot, but I want to be doing the things that I'm doing. So what is going to help support me in continuing this, lifestyle I am enjoying? And so Albany has an amazing studio called Heart Space at 747 Madison Avenue. And I brought myself in there to check out what this yoga stuff was about and loved it. And immediately thought this would be great for our students. I thought we're really missing the mark on helping them to kind of find their own authentic, genuine, safe spaces within themselves so that they can kind of just cultivate their own energies in the midst of, as you can imagine, what's going on in urban education, urban settings, what our students were being faced with. So I thought, what an amazing toolkit to introduce and share, right? So I was already taking the teacher instructor element off of it. So with yoga, for me, it's never about the hierarchy of I know, you don't know. I think we all intrinsically know our bodies and our body's needs. It's about giving permission to step into that space, to slow down, to reconnect, to uncover. We talk about we don't necessarily need to learn more. We have a lot to unlearn to
Learn. Yeah.
find our genuine, authentic selves. So yeah, that was what forayed me in with a weekend workshop, and I said I really got to know more after this. So then
So tell me, like, so you said you were in your 20s, but like, what specifically was this? I'm not trying to ask you how old you are. I'm 35, by the way. But like, was this 10 years ago? Was this like you're 22? Like when I was early 20s, I used to call it 20 stupid because we think we know it all and we're just hustle, 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 just
yeah.
stacking on more and more to do. And you
Hmm.
know and you're just not even aware of like the resources that are out there to support what it is you are doing, if that makes any
Right.
sense.
It makes complete sense. So I graduated from Siena College in 2000, if that gives you some time frame, with a psychology degree. So those types of things were always interesting and relevant to me, and just understanding human behavior, personal behavior, and what it is that can help to assist us to function in the optimal ways.
Mhm.
So that definitely there's a psychological component, energetics, all of these things kind of intermingle. So it makes a really interesting opportunity to dive in and explore and discover, well, what other modalities, the healing arts is just amazing. So it's fun. It becomes really fun, as the work that you do when it's coming from a place of curiosity and coming from a place of authentically seeking for self and kind of taking the time to digest and absorb different things and then deliver, actively deliver. So what my personal brand, if you will, is Lifted Vision Community Yoga Services. And the tagline is bringing yoga where it isn't. And there's a lot of opportunity to bring yoga outside of the studio, to
Yeah.
unveil it, demystify it, strip it down. You don't need to use props. You don't need the blanket, the bolster, you don't need all the things. You need your body. And I've discovered people need permission to
Yeah.
slow down.
Well, yeah, and it's permission and also like a roadmap, because I
Mm,
think I think a lot of times people, I again, from my experience, I remember when I first opened Paint and Sip, it was, I got into this mindset where like if I don't do it, it doesn't get done, or
mm,
or you would I would walk into the studio and I'd be like, well, don't don't my employees know what they're supposed to do next, or like make the leap? And it's like in that experience you realize that so many of us don't actually know what to do next. It's
mhm,
we know what we really like to do and what we need to do, and somehow they're not connected all the time. So to have somebody
mhm.
like yourself to kind of, you know, give you the permission and also kind of navigate that journey for you. And then again
Yeah.
for me, I didn't really start doing yoga until I got pregnant, and then I started doing the prenatal yoga. And to be honest, I don't I don't do yoga right now, and I feel strongly like I wouldn't sign up for a series or a class or a membership to a yoga studio until I had some reason to do it, which is so
Mm,
backwards, right? We should integrate it into our everyday life, and there's so many people who get it right. But like you said, there's tons of opportunity to introduce this concept and this way of doing it, that is not judgmental and stressful, and you don't need all the things, um, and it
mhm.
can be fun. That's like so interesting to me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm big into I mean, I'm gonna crack jokes while I'm teaching because when you see the look on the faces, that look you have on your face when you're really concentrating, you really want to get it right. Learning in the moment as well. So there's this degree of focus, and I like to, just kind of kid with people and say it's not that serious. If we're practicing a balance on one foot, the worst thing that's going to happen is your foot's going to come back down to the floor.
Right, you're not gonna let yourself fall.
Right,
And
right.
even if you do fall, it's no big deal. You get back up.
Right. We take safeguards for certain populations that we feel are a little more, could be prone to injury with a fall. So there's chair yoga. You can do a whole yoga session not ever getting up off the floor. So it's everything is always available through yoga to whatever degree to which it's going to serve you, which is an amazing way to try to get people to bring their practice or at least some of the ideas about yoga out into the world. You
Yeah.
know, the time, like you were saying, with the whole, if I don't do it, it's not going to get done, and sometimes walking through those stress thoughts, right? The same way that we can walk through, well, what's going to happen if I come out of this balance pose, my foot goes down to the floor and I'm now standing on 2 feet. The risk analysis, I think, sometimes is where we get confused. The brain hasn't necessarily caught up to stress response appropriately. So the
Well, look, the
same.
other the other the other the other huge umbrella of, like, issue is, like, when you're always in that stressful place, like, where
Mhm,
you're just, like, the fight or fight place and you're fighting, 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 that's probably what I would imagine you see in these urban environments where it's like, they don't feel like there's even a moment to take a breath, that is mindful and quiet and calm because they are so stressed out all the time. And these are things that, you know, some of us take for granted. And I think growing up, actually, I felt like there was a lot of chaos around, my just childhood and stuff. And then you grow up and you're like, oh, wait, that's what that was chaos? Or because I thought that was just way of life or just normal circumstance. And so you
mhm,
realize like you like had I had the tools like the breathing and the yoga and the getting quiet and still I could have been more prepared, and
mhm.
capable of navigating it in a way that wasn't just like white knuckling it or suppressing it, but just like managing it. And
Yeah.
um I feel like it's a disservice, you know, and I think
Mhm.
for our are people that are in those circumstances, you know, and
Mhm.
the more we can talk more freely about intangible things that we could be doing on a daily basis,
Yeah.
like taking a deep breath. You know, I have another problem with myself is I'm constantly holding my breath,
Same,
and I don't
same.
realize it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like these little baby things that we can trickle in our day totally has like this compound impact on our lives and the people that we are surrounding ourselves with.
Yeah.
I can remember when I first, there's a group of women that I started to really circulate and you know, get in touch with and like just grow a relationship with when I had when my girls were even younger than they are now. And to hear them say like super successful women, professionals and stay-at-home moms that are like taking the time to do yoga or taking the time to meditate. And I was like, wait a minute, you're not just like hustling. You're not just like working your ass off and getting shit done. And they're like, well, yeah, we do that, but we do it because we do this also.
Right.
It was such like so eye-opening to me, to know that some of the most successful, ambitious, advanced professionals that I surrounded myself with had this sort of practice that they were doing on a daily basis.
Yeah. Yeah. It's remarkable. And, coming from the space that I was coming from with the heart to give in the specific situations that I was, drawn toward, the question just never stops. Where else can I bring yoga that it isn't, that it's needed? Corporate? Absolutely. Let's talk care culture. So just recently, this month, actually, we are doing a series at the Palace Theater that's specifically for the Palace Theater staff. Their executive director, Kevin Johnson, is just it's all heart. He says, I got to push my people hard. We have big things that we need to do, but also I understand they need, because when it's go time to put on live show, that's a lot of stress. And so he took the time to connect with me and to set up. We go between a half hour and an hour on Wednesdays for the month of March. We're calling it Wellness Wednesdays, and just the difference in the energy. Like they greet me very excited to have their practice, and we laugh and we connect and the reminder to breathe is so consistent. That's probably my most repeated instruction. Remember to breathe, move your air, allow yourself to open, release, invite, and it's just if you can get a solid 30 minutes of conscious breathing into your body, you've changed just the connection that you have to your body. The breath is, whew, we're not even breathing right, most of us,
Okay,
right?
so I no, like, this is so totally true. So right before I guess it was, like, beginning of February, I went to go pick up Zia out of Zia's my two-year-old. I went to go pick her up out of the crib, and I felt something, like, bad in my back, and then it just kept on getting worse, and I did
Mm,
everything, Nikki. I went to yoga, I did a chiropractor, I went to an energy healer, I was taking Tylenol, ibuprofen, you know, around the clock. I went and did massages. I did deep tissue massage. I did a bath at the Roosevelt Bath. Nothing was helping. I go to my primary care physician and she's like, you need physical therapy and here's, some stronger ibuprofen. So we were just talking about how amazing Marcella is, but here she is again telling me like, you need to go to see this woman. Her name's Kiera and she is a movement coach. And I'm like, what is this? I just want this to be solved, you know? And I
yeah.
shit you not, I've gone to 3 sessions with Kiara. After the first session, I could hardly touch my toes walking to that first session. I left being able to not touch my toes, but definitely got further, to touch my toes, but no back pain. And all we did for an hour and a half was breathe. And so, like, this entire time, the 35 years of life that I've had on this earth, I have been breathing wrong. I breathe from my chest. I don't breathe from my
Mhm.
belly. And this whole like, it's opened up this whole new, like, portal into breathing right. And you think you need a massage or you think you need to go work out or like mobility and you need to strengthen your muscles and it's like I just needed to breathe like correctly and I needed someone to like help me
Yeah.
unlearn the way that I was breathing and
Mhm.
to learn how the appropriate way that I needed to breathe for this, condition that I have. And it was just like, so when you say like half of us are breathing wrong, it's absolutely true. And I take like, I hold my breath and then I take like short breaths, like like that's normal, right? No, that's not normal. That's like you're in panic mode all the time.
Right. And
So
that's, I mean, just touching back to what you had mentioned about the chaos in your childhood and your family home, that's trauma. We don't call it trauma because it's not, a major event sometimes. Sometimes it's just this wiring that your neurology is going to take on hypervigilance because you got to be on your toes because you don't know who's coming from what angle at any given moment. So
yeah,
hyper
and the other thing is too, like, I was not my parents are wonderful. I had a great childhood upbringing, like on paper, I wasn't there are a lot of things that were not happening that would be considered like major trauma.
right.
Um, and so it's like, yeah, no, everything was fine. Everything's good. But there you can also have secondary trauma, which no one talks about. So it's nothing that your parents did wrong. It's
Right.
just there were other things that just are invisible that you just didn't even realize
Mhm.
that were impacting or absorbing into your children. And look, I'm guilty of it now, I'm sure. Well, time will
Oh,
tell, right?
there's, but the thing is that if we can have the awareness and the consciousness to say, you know, no one's environment is going to be perfect, and maybe we're missing the mark of a specific need, and that's going to get imprinted on one of our children. But if we can say that out loud to them, and if we can give them the tools and the skills, and if we can embody those tools and skills, then there's going to be certain things that they're going to deal with later in life that were impacting them at this point in life because, things just catch up. But if it's about the toolkit, for me, it's about the toolkit because it's going to walk you through your life. It's going to give you the wherewithal, or at least you've been exposed. Exposure is a big thing. So kids that I've worked with in pre-K and middle school and high school, maybe someday they reach back and say, you know what, it felt really great when I did yoga with Nikki at school. Maybe I'll try a class. Maybe I'll try a video. Maybe I remember a breathing technique. So just kind of sharing the wisdom
Yeah, no,
is.
I think so much shared experiences. I love this. I love learning how other people have navigated a situation, and for
Mhm.
me, I feel like I just you know, I don't the whole saying like you people always say like I don't know what I don't know. It's kind of like I know what I don't know,
Mm,
and I want to fill in those gaps with people who have that experience, who have that perspective, and can
yeah.
help bring me to the next, like to help me connect the dots. Um,
Mhm.
and so I think it's funny, like when I'm meeting new people and I really like to meet new people and there's no agenda. They're just like, I don't need anything from you. You don't need anything from me. We're just
Yeah.
connecting. And like, you just don't even know what's going to be unlocked as you continue to explore that relationship. That's like my favorite piece of it. Cause it's like, you I'm not even making any sense anymore. This is such a deep, deep thought, but it's like,
Makes
you know,
sense to me.
you don't I know what I don't know kind of thing. So it's like you want to just continue to put yourself there so you can continue to just get the full picture as big or as full as you possibly can get.
Yeah, I think we're all here to, hold hands with one another, guide one another, and join each other on our journeys. And I think the universe kind of just intersects us at appropriate times with people who have what we need, almost like a video game.
Yeah, do you ever have that experience where, like, these people keep on coming back into your brain? Like, you're just like, "Okay, here this person is again, here this person is again." You can't figure out, like, how you're supposed to, like, that's a struggle that I have actually, because 'cause I'm always like, "How what are we supposed to do together? What is this about? What are we
Mhm.
supposed to collaborate on?"
Yeah.
And so I just need to remind myself, like, you don't have to force anything and just, like, let time run its course and just
Hmm.
keep on, and I feel like we kind of got off on a tangent here, but and I have to share with everyone. This is the first time that you and I are actually meeting.
It is.
So remind me and tell everyone how you came about palette. And I'd love for you to talk about Marcella again, because people just don't even realize how amazing she is, and magical
Oh,
she is.
perfect. Yeah, so to roll back a little ways, I became acquainted with a member a few years back when she was the principal of Albany Leadership Girls High School in Albany.
This is
Um,
this is Christina, right? Christina Ferranucci
I was gonna
Roberts.
to name the puppy, but yes, this is Christina Ferranucci Roberts, and she is also a neighbor of mine. Our boys started to she and I were connecting a little bit, and our boys were around the same age. So when the pandemic came down, we ended up,
Yeah, she
you
was
know,
your people.
concocting a mom pod so that we could still navigate our entrepreneurial and soul mission purpose things at ease for one day a week. So we traded our little guys back and forth on Mondays and Wednesdays, and just that open dialogue. And she said, you have to come to Palette. It's so cool. And I had been a member at a co-working space before, and I was like, oh no. And she's a little persistent, if we know Christina. And just her enthusiasm about things will draw you in and make you curious. So she said, come meet me. We'll have like a meeting there and I'll show you around. And so we went a couple times. I met Marcella. I mean, sold.
I know. It's just I feel like I don't even it's unexplainable how incredible just being in Marcella's presence can have on a person. It's just
Yeah.
she's so authentically and confidently herself,
Yeah.
and it allows other people to she's very disarming, I don't even think
Mhm.
I'm sure she does realize this. She's just like can get there so quickly with a person to
Yeah.
completely disarm them. And we're like palette. We're big on not taking ourselves too seriously. Like no challenge is life, and like the world is not ending, and no challenge is like too big or too small to figure to advance and to level up together, kind of thing, or overcome. And so to like, she just does such a great job. I think people think it's me. People think like, oh, Catherine's palette. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm literally just the one dancing around and drawing attention to ourselves. Marcella is the one who's like, she's the one who can just
We
pull
need all
out
the
people
energies. We
what
need
they
we need
need.
all of the energies.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And yeah, I am classic for eye contact, and she's got me. She see, I see you. And I was like, oh, I see you too. Okay. So yeah, she definitely is just so competent and relaxed about it and fun with it. And like our first conversation, I think she went and made me she said, you gotta have this turmeric latte. And so she brought me one and we sat and chatted, and it was just a very relaxed, um, unpretentious is I think the word that I would use in terms of palette as an experience. I
Mhm.
think it would be very easy for y'all to have a more pretentious vibe because you're really doing it. But it's still I feel so relaxed there. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I've
I
done
mean,
things at palette that I don't think I would even dream of attempting elsewise, and I have plans, to do more in terms of organizing some yoga events to serve the community. Also, I mean, we were talking about just the healing arts. I would love to facilitate a healing arts day at Palette
that's
for
oh my god. It's so interesting. What I think is well, I'm talking a lot about paint and sip, but that was my first, business concept that I introduced to the area. Our studio was the first one in the area at the time. This is actually in April 12th will be 10 years in
wow.
business, which is just wow. It has been such a journey and such a cluster all at the same time. Um, but I feel like, a lot of people who come to paint and sip is they come for a good time out. They come just to like let their hair down and, cut up, drink some wine, and they leave so relaxed and so just confident. There's like an empowerment that comes in with the space. And it is predominantly women who come to the studio. And you don't even realize how beneficial it is to release your shoulders and like not think
Mhm.
about the bills for 2 hours, not think about how the
Mhm.
kids are getting to sleep or any of that other stuff or your work
Right.
shit, and you're just like painting. And, if
Yeah.
you can truly let your guard down and just paint, like,
Yeah.
and not think about it, it's one of those things that it's great to have we have an artist that walks you through step by step by step, and so there is no thinking involved, you're just following directions unless you feel you wanna go rogue, which we absolutely encourage,
Yeah.
but it's like people come back. We have people who come back weekly because it's just
Oh,
so relaxing, and it is an activity, there is an action like, attached to the
yeah.
relaxing, and so
Yeah.
it's,
It's creating, and it's a creation that, did you have the confidence to, would you do that on your own? Would you sit down with paint and, canvas and go for it? But
well,
you're
most of
letting.
us wouldn't. Well, most of the people who come to Paint and Sip, they have, they have corporate jobs. They go to work 9 to 5. I mean, remove the pandemic for a second. Prior to the pandemic, people people were stressed and overwhelmed with anxiety, and
Mhm.
it's just now it's exasperated. So I feel like definitely a majority of the people who come to Paint and Sip, they don't have paint and canvas and an easel set up at their house. They're not
Right.
doing it. They're at home washing dishes and cleaning dishes and taking care of kids, and or taking care of parents, and they are, there's so much more going on. So when you walk into Paint and Sip, you really feel like it's an escape. It's like I'm gonna sit down for 2 hours straight. I'm gonna sip on some wine. You don't necessarily have to talk to the person next to you that you came with, or maybe you came by yourself. It's so magical. And
Ah,
palette for me is like an extension of Paint and Sip. It's like
mm,
another opportunity to, you know, bring people together, share experiences, level the playing field. I mean, that's a big part of
yeah.
palette. Is like you cross the threshold and you're not that CEO, you're not mom, you're not
Mhm.
stressed because of life. You're just human. You're just, what are
Yeah.
you here to get done, and how can we help you? We're, I think a lot of people think like that can't be real, but I guess you have to come to see it yourself.
Yeah. I felt that way, I felt that way with the invitation and the insistence, and you just have to. It's different, and it really truly is. I love the sign that says "You can cry here." Is that what it says?
Yeah.
It's like I may need to utilize that at some point, but
No, and
nice
and
to meet
people
you.
do,
Yeah.
myself included. I mean, I feel like I really needed my own space that could be my own,
Mm,
and also not just my own. I want other people to feel like the ownership and the foundership, or the just belonging to a space that is, leveled up. Like, it's a creative space to be in, it's a fun place to be in. The people that you meet at Palette are already there mentally, like,
mhm,
ready to help and to support you in whatever endeavor you're in. They're also there interested to learn about you and about
mm,
your experiences. And so I think it's like it really is special. And I can say that a million times. It's even more important and powerful for you to say it, because it's like, as long as, and we're big on feedback. It's like I'm not going to claim I got it right. I'm not going to claim that I'm going to continue to get it right every time. So tell me where my holes are and tell me where my gaps are, that you can help me kind of fill this. And that's what community is. It's like it evolves with the people that make it up. So,
yeah.
I can tell you, if it was just me, we would not have a true crime club. We would not have a writers club. you know, the
Those are so
entire
cool.
entire program and the entire, you know, events would be made up of like business, entrepreneurship, leadership, money, finance. So it's important, like you said earlier, to have these different energies and these different
Mm,
personalities and people who come together with this, core, mission and value system. Um,
mhm.
we wouldn't
Yeah.
have any yoga class, so I'm glad you're involved because we definitely need that.
It's coming. I keep looking at the weather because I want to use the back space. I feel
Yeah,
like that's most conducive. So I was like, maybe April, and then the weather just went nah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so right now it's tentative with the weather, but
Okay. Cool. Yeah, the back patio space is so awesome, and
it's
um,
perfect.
it's like a hidden another little, like, hidden piece of the space that not everyone realizes is back there.
Yeah.
Um, so what how else can other people, like, get in touch with you, get involved with you? You don't just work, corporate, you don't just work in school systems, you work with individuals, right?
Uh Sometimes it got tricky with COVID, of course. Um, so I'm just opening up to rebuilding that clientele virtually. So one-on-ones are going to start opening up next month. My email address is yoganikki518 at gmail.com. So for
Okay,
any who is interested in having personal sessions, that's the best way to get a hold of me.
awesome.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, my focus really is on the larger group settings, which I guess if I shifted into my business self, which is so she just is there because she has to be. I like to aim at big pockets.
I
I
love
don't
it.
like to. Yeah, it's kind of like a Robin Hood style mentality. So like MVP Healthcare, the Palace has a bit of a budget, but that was all personal conversation that grew out of. I
I love
was
it.
I was blessed to work with currently incarcerated individuals at Albany County Corrections, but pre-pandemic for about a year. And the sheriff's department has a bit of a budget, so that's really that's the best. That's the juiciest, most fulfilling connections that I can make is when I can get to the hierarchy admin folks and say, look, you really need to serve your people, or
Yeah.
look, I'd really like to serve your people. And
Right, right. And seriously, like, put your money where your mouth is, right? Because so many like, there's big conversation on culture and how we treat our people, and we care about our people, and,
Mhm,
and it's like, okay, well, like, let them continue working from home if it suits them, and help
mhm,
them with the wellness piece, and help
mhm.
them, like, connect the dots here and take care of
Yeah,
themselves so that you can have them for a longer period of time.
and they can feel good about what they're doing, and they
Yeah,
can really, when you take good care of people, they're gonna outperform the basic levels. From my experience, from what I understand, if you have happy people who feel cared for, they're gonna really go the extra mile
yeah,
as
I mean,
needed.
and it's like it's like just wake up and look at everything around us right now. I mean, it has been proven now. There are scientific, I don't know the
Mhm,
actual numbers, but the metrics are that people are more productive working a flexible, you know,
mhm.
day, like when they can, leave and come, like, just flexibility. It's huge. And I think that we've been talking, like, working parents have been talking about this, for years up until the pandemic. And then the pandemic happens, and then corporate starts saying, oh, well, yeah, this is what we're doing for our people. Well, that should continue long after the pandemic has gone away. We should continue to take
Yeah,
care of our people. We should continue to invest in them, and not just, the bottom line, but, the
right.
wellness thing and the mental health thing is it's just, like, invaluable to have a boss that's gonna, say, "Do you. You know you best. If you can't
Yeah,
do it yourself, then let's help you do it."
yeah, yeah, and that help really comes in the form of you
Hiring
know
you.
here to help. And
Give
it's
Nikki some
funny
money to help your people.
that help me help you help them. It's like it's great. So
Yeah.
what do you think about a little meditation exercise at this
Yes.
point? You feel like you're
Yes.
ready for
Yes. Are you
Okay.
gonna help me be zen right now?
I am going to help you be zen right now.
Okay.
Okay.
And the
So
whole world watching.
and everyone watching, please join in. If you're seated, if you can put both your feet on the floor flat, just kind of balance yourself there. And just take a minute to feel your feet connected to the floor. If you can take your shoes off,
Okay,
if your shoes
my shoes are off. I'm gonna see if I can make myself invisible.
okay. Oh wow, just me. Okay. So your feet are flat on the floor. Then maybe rest your hands on your thighs or knees and feel the chair underneath you supporting you. Feel the floor under your feet supporting you, grounding you. Then lift your spine nice and tall. If you can have the support of the chair behind you, behind your back, Or if you can sit up super straight, just not rigid, right? So straight, but not rigid. See if you can roll your shoulders a little bit just to find some relaxation and space through there. And then send your shoulders down from your ears. If you want to let your chin move towards your chest, just get this back of the neck a little bit long and relaxed. And just start to notice your breath coming in through your nose. Feel how it's a little bit cool as you bring it in. And hold it for a moment before you release it through your mouth, and notice it's a little warmer as it exits your body. Bring your right hand to your belly and your left hand to your chest. Even though the arms are working here, just make sure the shoulders stay open and released. Elbows, wrists, and fingers are relaxed. And just allow yourself to feel comfortable right where you are. Revisit your feet being connected and supported by the surface beneath them. Let your shoulders move down from your ears. Gently part your lips to relax your jaw. Release the space between your eyebrows. Breathing in through the nose to feel that coolness of the air you're taking in. Holding a moment. And then releasing through your mouth, noticing that warmth of the air you're releasing. Add a gentle smile to your face. And you can say out loud or in your mind, I am centered. I am grounded. I am whole. Letting your belly relax, bringing the air in and down to the belly. That's that depth. When you think about a deep breath, think about ocean depth down to the belly. And then as you're exhaling, gently press your belly button back towards your spine to really push that air all the way out. So you have space for a brand new breath. Inhaling, allowing the belly to gently float out. And exhaling. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths in and out. Just follow your own rhythm. And with every breath, let your body just relax a little bit more deeply. Permission to relax, knowing that everything that you need to tend to will be right there waiting. But just for these few moments for yourself, just allow yourself to breathe and be. And then as you're ready, if your eyes are closed, maybe gently flutter them open, lifting the chin and eyes, relaxing your hands back down. Then kind of take any movements that feel right to you, right? You may want to open up your wrists a little bit. You may want to stretch out nice and long. You may want to rotate the arms, shoulders, open the chest maybe, reach behind you, maybe reach up. Ooh. Maybe you hear snap, crackle, and pop like I do. Maybe grab a wrist and stretch over to the side. And always for balance, we'll do the opposite side too. You can rotate the ankles here. Just kind of move your body around a little bit and welcome yourself back from your little break.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like ready to take on the day.
That's awesome. And what I like to try to reinforce is just jog back a little bit. What did we do? You know, when you think
Yeah.
about how simple, I'm not doing anything complex for you. It's really just about providing the moment and the little bit of guidance. And, you know, I hope always to empower anyone who practices with me to remind yourself of how simplistic and short term that was, so that you can just kind of infuse that into your day whenever you need it.
Right, right. I think, you know, it's creating a habit, right? So like if you were on my calendar like daily at, 11 o'clock to do like a 30-second thing, I don't know about you, but it's like if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't get done. So
Right.
putting this into your day and
Yeah.
then holding yourself accountable to doing it. I think if you have another person on the other side of the screen or,
Mhm.
and it's so simple. It is so simple to just jump onto a call and do this.
Yeah, it
There's
is.
so many resources. There are, like, so many free resources out there for people to take
Mhm.
advantage of too.
Yeah.
And then just, like, stacking it, and then once you create that habit, it's like you can't live without it. So then you start to figure out how you can explore it further and build on it, and
Mhm.
next thing you know, you're a yoga activist.
Ta-da!
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing yourself with us. I hope we did have some takeaways, some people commenting, so I love that. Anybody who wants to get in touch with Nikki, she is around. Her email is what Nikki was it again?
Yoga Nikki 518
Yoga Nikki 518,
at
and it's
Gmail.
two K's
Yeah,
at you said AOL.
Gmail.
Email. All right, I'm typing it into the comments here, so
Beautiful.
everyone will have it. They can get a hold of you,
Mhm.
and we're gonna incorporate some of you into Palette more tangibly. I don't know if
Yes,
that's a word, but we're
it
gonna make
is.
the word. Okay, good.
Great work.
Is so glad. I'm so happy to finally meet you. I've just been, I'm. This is the part that I just love about like. I know we're not post pandemic, but post pandemic ish is like
Mm.
meeting people in person again. Even though this is not in person, but we're gonna meet each other in person soon. I can't
Yes.
wait.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much.
All
This
right,
was a really great
thank you.
opportunity to connect and to share, and I love it. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Okay, we'll be seeing more of you soon. Have a
Yes.
good rest of your week.
Thank you. You too.